It's good. It's like 30 seconds rather than a minute.
Okay.
All right, we're back. A dinosaur story. If you've ever seen that movie, it's about dinosaurs that come back to life who are immediately forced into the circus. It's brutal.
Yep. Hello.
Give him a new Hangout link.
We invited him. He's in.
Oh, you're in.
No, I need a Hangout link for the.
Oh,
guest.
the link for the guest. Yeah. Get the link and send it over so we could. Yeah. Just send that to L or just put that in the Discord where I am. You're not in the. You guys aren't in the Discord yet.
It's right here.
Well, Zach's in the Discord, but Joshua, you're in our Discord.
Yeah.
What's your username on our Discord? Oh, how did I never put that together? How did I never put together that you were Rodley? Yeah. It's not from Jack. It just looks like it is. You're Kurt Eichenwald and Jack at the same time. It's funny that you're not dead.
All right, we're back.
All right, we're streaming. We're live. We're back. Technical difficulties have been destroyed. Struggle Session reigns supreme as the #1 leftist geek podcast on the internet. Geek, nerd, it's a brand, whatever. I don't know if it means anything anymore. I was at Nerd Melt Theater, and there were so many extremely sexy, well-dressed people who were talking about how they were nerds in line for the show. It's the Chris Hardwick experience.
All right, and we'll be having our special guest join us shortly.
We've got him. He's coming in. I apologize again for any technical difficulties based on the fact that I'm a moron.
All right, but we got our crack staff of Struggle Boys helping us out.
Zach and Joshua are acting as our technical advisors today.
And this is all due to the sabotage of one Jack Allison.
Jack Allison was so angry we had to let him go that he decided to completely trash his own office. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I don't pay.
Mean, you can still see the mess behind. He just wrecked everything. Everything is
you
just.
See, there's LaCroix cans and coffee pods. Terrible for the environment. These Keurig pods. And if you can just be patient, Zach and Joshua are. You got the link, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we are getting set. I think that I'm with you, Sindel. That if Oprah Winfrey were to replace Jack Allison, I think that she would do a fantastic job as one of the Struggle Boys.
More billionaires.
And more billionaires. We need more billionaires on television.
More
billionaires on the show in general. As you know, billionaires have all the money and all the power, control our society and everything we do, think, see, hear, feel. So it's only right that they get a say in our show too, right? I mean, it's only fair.
New host Chris Hardwick. Oh, Chris Hardwick's in the top left corner.
We put Chris Hardwick there because we are a nerd brand, and as you know, Chris Hardwick is the king of the nerd brands.
That's awesome.
I hope to be like Chris Hardwick when I grow up. I hope to be like Chris.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if Chris is kind of busy. I don't know. We will reach out to him. We're still looking for a new host. We actually hired one new host, and it just wasn't a good fit. She's a wonderful person.
I mean, I thought she was
deeply really good friend of mine personally, but she wasn't a gamer.
She's not a gamer.
As much and we know how important representation is, and there's no class of minority more underrepresented than the gamer. So
gamer Americans are a people who desperately deserve a better shot. And I don't know. Look, Katie is a woman. She is Jewish, which means that once upon a time she was not white, but now she is. And it's good to have Jewish women. I love Jewish women. My mom is a Jewish woman. I'm a Jewish man. I get it. And yet, however, I will not have a co-host of the show if they don't know about Chrono Trigger, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
It's eminently fair. It's not unfair that we, got her hopes up, said she was going to host a show that we told her to actually cancel the Katie Hopper show. So she had already let go of Gabe.
Right.
And
She
they
wouldn't.
were
She
like,
wouldn't leave her own show to join our show. And well,
until
I
we
guess
really pushed her to do it, and then she did it, and then we decided that what, she wasn't a great fit for us. So
But we have a
I'm so
great episode with her coming up.
yeah, great episode with her coming up. So it's all coming up struggle session, folks. That's what I'm saying. The struggle session subscribers, you get another great episode with the one and only Katie Halper coming to you this week, this very week,
You
where
get
we've
two
already
struggle
given you.
sessions in 1 week, and that's a rare thing.
It's a beautiful thing. It's so if you like seeing that, patreon.com/struggle session. If you're already a subscriber, paypal.me/LLEEII to give us tips. That's what they call it on Twitch. It's a tip. PayPal.me/LLEEII or the Cash App LLEEII, and you can give us a tip, and we'll put that directly towards more gaming, more streaming, more posting, more struggle session.
Just
It's
more. I mean, that's all really. I mean, if you think about capitalism, right? That's what more money gives you. More things. That's what it boils down to. More money means more things because then we don't have to worry as much about everything that we're all worrying about. We're all worrying about paying our bills. We're all worrying about finding career paths and jobs that are consistent and stable. It's not going to happen in today's America. We're all permalancers. We're all kind of screwed. But hey, if I can at least bring some entertainment to people, which is all I've ever really wanted to do, then I'm happy. Uh, that's my advice. Just entertain people, make them happy. Also, date someone who has a better job than you have. That's a good advice too. I've
yes.
certainly
So
learned.
I do want to say that this past weekend we all met for the first time.
It was so
Obviously,
cool.
Jack and JDB knew each other, but I got to go out to LA and meet Jack and JDB for the first time, and it was so
And not the
wonderful.
last year. We're gonna bring you out again real soon. And it was such a blast. We Elle stayed at our house or my apartment for the evening, and then we need to fund Elle's book. Elle's book is going to be the coolest thing. What's
Yeah, and
happening?
that is a guitar. That is a guitar back there. I haven't played in a while because been a little busy, but I'm gonna get back into it. Maybe we'll stream some Rocksmith sometime.
I actually would be down to play some rhythm, and I mean it might be hard with we'll have to figure out a way to stream it so that the timing is right. But it
Yeah, we'll just start a band too.
I mean we could
why
just
not?
start a band. Yeah,
Why not?
I'm all about Elle finishing his book too. But I'm not. It's Elle is honestly one of the best writers online at all. I mean, when I was part of the reason I got in touch with Leslie in the first place is I was such a fan of his writing at Jacobin. Is that how you say it? Jacobin? Jacobin? Like, do you actually say it like the French say it, or do you just fuck it up because
It's
we're Americans and that's what
it's
we do? We have no
Jacob
respect.
in. It's Jacob in. Jacob
Jacob
in.
in. Jacob in what? In Wonderland? No, bad joke. Worst joke. Worst joke ever. Brutal. A lawyer in my area was caught stealing money for her firm, so she broke into the office, stole a bunch of credit cards, and bought sex toys and shipped them to their partners or to the partners of the law firm. That's dope. See, that's the kind of class warfare I can get behind. If we just flood the billionaires' mailboxes with dildos, they'll realize that we're mad at them.
I don't know. I don't know how long that plan, how far that plan can scale.
It's true.
To be
It's
honest
all,
with you,
and it's like you
I
have
mean,
to
'cause
make
think
sure
about it.
the dildos are union made, and you have to make sure.
That's the thing. Like, you buy all those dildos, you're just making a dildo billionaire
Right.
at a certain point.
Well, it's like Bill Burr had this bit I once loved about how what the working people should do is just go into the gated communities and just kill all the billionaires, and it was
Yeah.
just a very violent, great bit. And then he made this very interesting point that he's like, but you got to be careful. Like, it's obviously not the guy who lives there because he invented Ninja Turtles, and so
Like,
it is interesting because we are now at this point where sure every billionaire is bad, but okay, if you had a top 5 billionaires who if you had the chance that you could punch in the face, who would they be? It's not that hard for me. It'd probably be Lloyd Blankfein, Jamie Dimon. Let's see. I'm not gonna do Trump. Trump's easy. But
And he's not a billionaire.
and he's not even really a fucking billionaire. Lloyd Blankfein, Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, Jamie Dimon, Elon Musk, because he's a fucking fraud. And last but not least, well, I could.
Oh, we were talking about billionaires, and we were just joined by a very special guest.
Hey guys.
Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
it's Jesse Farrar.
Jesse
How you
If
doing?
you've
Farrar.
never watched, it's Jesse Farrar from one of the funniest podcasts online today. It's Your Kickstarter Sucks. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming, man.
Thanks for having me on here. As you can see, I'm relaxing in my beach villa right now. So
As we should be
We were
relaxing.
just Jesse. We were just talking about killing all the billionaires. Now I know you make a lot of money with the podcast, like several $1 million at least. But you're not a billionaire yet, are you?
No, that's not even counting all the dark money and stuff. So you guys are just scratching the surface. It's kind of an
Right.
iceberg situation.
He's a
but-
crypto billionaire.
Oh yeah, I'm 30 years old. I just opened a retirement account, guys. So I think from here on out, it's gonna be pretty smooth sailing.
Hell
Oh,
yes.
hell yes. You know that nothing bad happens with those accounts. Those are solid. Like you can rely on that for like no matter what.
Yeah, it's definitely good that when you do that, you get like a disclosure sheet, like the size of the phone book, and there's all these different things you got to sign, and the government definitely finds out about all the money you have socked away and stuff. I don't know. I'm just worried I'm worried. I'll tell you what. I'm worried the government's gonna come and take my guns. If I can be honest with you guys, I'm really scared of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a scary time because, with a Republican Congress and a Republican president, it has never been a worse time to be a gun owner.
It's really scary for us gun owners. Heck, you know what? I would say, feel free to buy more guns, more ammo. I don't know, call me crazy, but has anyone ever said I've got too many guns?
Never,
don't think
never.
so.
It's never happened. You can
I
never
think,
have
like,
too
it's
many
interesting.
guns.
They have those gun buybacks now and then that they do, and they give like tax breaks and they give like vouchers to like random restaurants, like these, like
So
LA
what you're
does
saying
this.
is that a gun is really an investment. So like
Well, of
even
course.
if you hoard those guns, eventually the government's going to pay you more money or give you like a coupon to the Sizzler for those guns. So
Well, yeah, I think it was Red Lobster, but I could be wrong. Sizzler is good too. One of my friends, I have a friend who collects a lot of guns, and he's like, he's not a. I know there are leftist gun owners out there, and I know that like they have very good arguments on why they should be able to have guns, but the majority of gun owners I know are not leftists. This guy's more of like a libertarian dude, and his whole thing was like they are like Pokemon cards to me. They are Pokemon cards that can kill people, and that's it. He doesn't give a fuck, and he never has.
That's-
He's
that's kind of
hoarding
cool
the
actually
thing.
because it would be Pokemon would be cooler if you could literally kill people with them.
You
That would
weren't
be
reading
nice.
the right fan fiction then.
So Jesse, we brought you on the show today. We didn't tell you why. We just said, "Come on," and you were like, "All right, fuck yeah."
Yeah,
And
I
that's
made it. Maybe did I make a mistake in that? Did I do something wrong?
No, because
No, not at all.
You're being presented with a wonderful opportunity. If you if you're qualified for it. All right. So we recently had to fire one of our hosts, Mr. Jack Allison, because
Yes.
the reason because he got married, and we thought that was just really like problematic to do in 2018, heteronormative, patriarchal, and it's not a good thing. Like, of course I am married, but that was like in 2015 or 16 or something. That was before we knew how bad the patriarchy was. And I know you're married too, but your grandfather in as well. And so we were just thinking maybe if you were interested, you could be the new host of Struggle Session.
Do you want to do it, Jesse?
Wow, that is a tremendous opportunity. You're right. Gosh, am I gonna make an enemy out of Jack? Do you know?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he'll hate you.
Yes. And he's very litigious, I have to say. He's very litigious. We are currently using his office right now. He's probably, if he sees this stream while he's on his honeymoon in Thailand, he'll probably send his lawyers over in the middle of the stream. So we probably have to finish up early. But
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it could be a serious problem for you if you.
Yes, Dragon Slayer. I have read fucked up Pokemon fanfics. In fact, I've read like a 100+ page fucked up Pokemon fanfic. It's called Pokemon Master, and it's a post-apocalyptic violent fantasy where Ash and Pikachu reunite to take out an evil much more rotten than Team Rocket ever could be. And it opens up with a Bulbasaur being murdered in cold blood, turned into ash. It was horrifying.
That is what Jack will do to you if you take this gift. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a fantastic opportunity. We make almost $1,800 on our Patreon. It's worth it.
It's worth it. I mean, if you split it 3 ways, yeah, it's like it's a decent chunk of your rent. It would be my entire rent if I lived somewhere that I don't know, that wasn't like near a major city. But hey,
it would also be your entire rent if you somehow managed to fire me or I fired you. Actually,
well, I can't get rid of you, Leslie. I mean, you're the reason this show exists. Let's be real here.
Well, thank you so much, Jesse. You see that love we have between us? You could be a part of that.
Hey man,
Yeah,
you crashed. You crashed on my couch. Elle crashed on my couch. Jesse, you can crash on my couch too. It's the most comfortable couch. It's one of those sectional guys, so you can like
Right.
take a piece off and push it up against the.
I think we're going a little bit
ottoman.
too hard. We're going a little bit too hard on Jesse. Like he needs to mull this over. But Jesse, I want you to talk about what's going on with you and the Go Hard Boys. I love that name. Every time I see it, I smile.
Yeah, we well, somebody said that it was not good for us to be called the Go Off Kings. I don't know. I don't know anymore what's good to be called or to say. So I just kind of I don't know. I feel like I'm already entering my dotage. Like I'm just kind of stumbling around and people are yelling at me and I'm just saying sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to like go to the mall or something. So so I don't know. We just stay screwing up all the time, but it's fun. We my partner Stefan and Rob, 2 funny guys out there in LA. They're gonna probably make it big, and forget about me and leave me behind. I'll be out here in the suburbs, like eating Subway sandwiches, and they'll be
See, but you
hobnobbing and
actually,
rubbing elbows.
I actually think you did the right thing, Jesse. You made the wise decision, not because you can like probably like have a family. They're living in Los Angeles. They're never gonna have a family. If you ever want to, I mean, if you want a family, I don't know. I don't know anything about your needs. But in LA, like if you're not gonna have your first kid until you're like 45, really. So
Right. Yeah, I've already got 2 kids, and I keep telling Stefan and Rob that they're never gonna have children. They're never gonna be happy. They should remember they can't leave me and all this kind of stuff. So I hope that message is getting through to them. I don't know what these guys they've got big dreams in their heads. They're out there. What are some of your famous LA restaurants? You got Pink's Hot Dogs. They're
Pink's
out there
Hot
all the
Dogs
time.
very famous.
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out Burger is very famous. We have
Walmart?
what's that? Walmart is not a famous Los Angeles
That's
restaurant.
not LA
Zach.
only.
That's
Yeah, we've
Zach
got that
Perlman
one.
being a silly.
That's Zach
Here, why don't you
Perlman.
get in here? Why don't you get in here?
I've eaten at the local Walmart and it's great.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, Zach. So that's another celebrity cast. This Mr. Zach Perlman.
This is Zach
Star-
Perlman,
Star
star
of
of
Intern. Major
star of the
Hollywood.
Intern, major Hollywood movie. Nancy Myers,
Major Hollywood person.
Robert De Niro, Zach Perlman. If you ever watch Key and Peele, this motherfucker right here.
Oh yeah.
He's a much more talented actor than I am, and our agents pitted us against each other. They tried to get us to hate each other, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, we both quickly realized that people aren't products.
Yeah, we're not products,
We're not.
man.
We're just
We're
fucking
not
people,
brands.
Man.
Yeah, there's more than enough room in the world for 2 guys with circle glasses. I think there's
Right.
plenty of those guys.
Well, look, we both love the turtle shell.
Yeah.
We both where did you get your glasses?
I got mine off of zennyoptical.com.
That's neat. I got mine at a store that is no longer existent. No, it's not here anymore. It's a guy named Savon. His store is called Paris Optique. He wasn't French. I don't care. Glasses are work, As
So that's why it doesn't exist anymore, because people were walking in expecting a Frenchman and they felt lied to.
that's probably it.
Absolutely.
I think he moved to like a cheaper location is truthfully it. Like the neighborhood I live in.
Oh, I remember that place.
Los Feliz, sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it was sort of when I moved there about 5 years ago, it was definitely on the cusp of like the double gentrification. But in 5 years, it's actually like triple gentrified. There is almost every like low budget restaurant is gone. It's
Yeah.
almost all been like Brentwoodized, Park Slopeized, whatever you want to call it. It's bougied the fuck up. And like, so I just don't go out to eat as much as I used to simply because I just can't afford it. But the thing about so Zach here and I have a very interesting history because Zach was in a movie that came out around the same time that I had a movie come out. And so we both auditioned for each other's movies, right? So he was in a movie called The Virginity Hit, and I was in a movie called Project X. Now, I auditioned for The Virginity Hit and had a series of meetings about it that didn't go anywhere. He had a series of auditions for Project X that didn't go anywhere. Both of our representatives at the time and also the producers we met with essentially had us blame each other for like things not getting the jobs we were going to get.
There was some weird.
There was weirdness,
I would
and it
even
wasn't.
say there's a level of weirdness where the production company that did your movie hired me to a fake 4-movie contract.
I got a 3-movie contract. That was fake. Yeah, it was weird.
They signed me to a contract just so they could see The Virginity Hit, and then dropped it when they announced their movie Project X, and then
Jesse, I think what they're saying is that all you need to do is get yourself a pair of circle glasses, come out to LA, and you will get a 3-picture movie deal.
The 3-picture deal.
100%.
So we both. So we
also gained 40 pounds. Be a
well,
little overweight.
Well, but I lost all that weight, and it screwed me. I should have gotten fatter. Are you kidding me? You didn't get fatter, did you?
No, I lost weight and then gained it back.
So Jesse, we don't want to hold you too long because we know you're very busy. We know you have to go off on your Twitch stream with the Go Off Kings. Very fun Twitch stream. You play terrible games a lot of time.
Yeah, or we just play normal games terribly. We haven't figured it out. I don't know. We don't have it together. You know, I think give us 2 or 3 more years and we'll figure out how to do this. And you know, by that point nobody will care anymore. But yeah, we tried to let's see what were we playing. We were playing Gang Beasts. We were playing Gang Beasts this week, and I don't know if you guys have messed with that at all.
I've never heard of Gang Beasts. How does that work?
It's like it's a fighting game, and it's like you're just like a big pile of like turds, like you're just all like little turds with different clothes on, and you push the buttons, and they're purposefully non-responsive. It's like little Play-Doh guys, and you just kind of bounce around and hit each other, and you don't do anything.
That sounds fun.
Frustrating. Yeah.
Is it like Clay Fighter 64 or something like that, or
a little bit? Yeah, it actually is a little bit like Clay Fighter, just multi.
Yeah, the physics of it, right?
I miss like the old weird like Super Nintendo and 64 era. Like there were so many like weird like fake Clay games. There was Clay Fighter. There was the Neverhood. There was you remember the Neverhood, Joshua? That game was fucking sick. There was there was this one game, I don't even remember what it was called, but it had like a Z in the name, and you just like were like you would bounce. It was on the Super Nintendo, and you would like bounce around the level and like occasionally turn into creatures. It was sort of like a clay altered beast, but much more colorful. But it's gone. If anybody can figure out,
you got Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken. Hindle in our chat room is asking when you are going to learn how to play Dwarf Fortress, Jesse.
Door Fortress, like
Dwarf,
Fortress of the
Dwarf.
Wow. Is that so? Just based on the sound of it, and based on the fact that he said I have to learn how to play it, it's probably like an RTS game where you have to have some skill to do the stuff in it.
It's from what I recall, Dwarf Fortress is it's a.
Cute.
That's true. Sorry, no, I was distracted by Josh was putting all these funny images up, and I'm unprofessional. So from what I know, based on my 5 minutes of playing Dwarf Fortress, it's a resource management like fortress building game with ASCII graphics.
Yeah. So you manage like @ symbols and apostrophes, and you try to populate a world with them.
So this sounds like work.
Yeah. It's basically like you're a typist in the night.
Can it be any more work than like a Ubisoft game? Because like most Ubisoft games to me feel like just like working on an Excel spreadsheet now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's what games are. We played a little bit of this for our podcast. Mike Hale and I played a little bit of this the Oatmeal Comic Guys card game, the Bears versus Babies, sort of kind of like a like a random humor type card game.
Like Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, and it's just like math. You just add the math together and you just do the math, and you realize after a while you're like, well, I mean, I guess if I thought like Space Crab was really funny, maybe that would get me through 1 or 2 rounds of this kind of thing.
Yeah, welcome to humor in the age of technocracy.
you just see through the charade at a certain point. It's not as much fun anymore. So if I'm looking at ampersands and shit and trying to move those around the screen, I think unless I've got to move, you know what? I try to do multiple things when I'm playing a game now. I got to have the game on. I'm watching a movie or something. I can't. I think I'm sick. I think my brain's messed up.
Yeah.
No, you're just so used to going hard. You have to keep going harder and harder and harder, and that's why we're inviting you here. So you already have your Kickstarter sucks,
right?
You have the Go Hard Kings. Add struggle section to that, and like you will never ever have anything resembling a life. And I just say I think this is a wonderful opportunity for you. I don't give your answer now on air. Just
okay.
If it's okay, just send us a DM and we'll make this official.
I'm gonna try to get. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. My first stop is gonna be Google Images and see if I can get a few more candids of Jack and kind of see what he's like sitting at.
He's kind of swole. Like I met him, I was kind of surprised. He's been working with a trainer for like the past.
Jack has lost a lot of weight recently. He's looking really, he's looking. I mean,
he's looking swole. Like he's got the upper body strength of like a Brock, like a young Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, not David Brock, the Democratic strategist behind
both actually, both. Upper body strength of Brock Lesnar, lower body strength of David Brock. But David Brock
is the lower body strength. I don't know.
He's a real short little guy, right?
He's not a tall guy, but he's powerful. That was actually said in the wedding vows. His wife said to him, "He is short but powerful."
And here's the thing: like, you can be strong, but if I can bop you on the head, you know what I mean? Like if I can hit the top of his head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but he could double
the comment section.
He could double leg you probably fairly easily.
In the chat room, everyone's arguing about Space Station 13, which I haven't played, so I'm like, well, I can't have an opinion. But it seems to be a thing. And we have had many WOC guests. Proudly,
we're about to have another one. Actually,
we're about to have another
one.
We don't like to jerk ourselves off about it, but like we try to, make the show as diverse as possible. But you're never going to see us go like, look how diverse Struggle Session is, because it just feels disingenuous. It feels like a way to
fuck that. But we do make a point to always try to mix it. And I know Hendel's just
mix it up. It's the same.
You're just making a joke. We're not fucking with you, but we we haven't talked about it on the show, but we do make a point to like try to mix things up, not just have white guys on. Now that I'm saying this, Jesse. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's fine.
Are you discriminating against Jesse Farrar for the color of his skin, Leslie?
Yeah. Plus, you didn't even ask me if I was white, which is kind of messed up. Like, you
actually, we don't even know. We don't even know.
Yeah,
it's an interesting thing. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm subbing from this Twitch. I can't believe I didn't get an invite to the wedding. Look, San Luis Obispo, to be fair, is far away from Los Angeles. We had to drive about 4 hours just to get to the wedding. It was not an easy. Can you get rid of fucking Trump, Joshua? I hate that fucking asshole. I hate looking at him.
That gives funny.
All right, you want him? You want it? All right, everyone wants. Everyone wants him except for me. It's fine. He can stay.
You know what else is funny? Jesse Farrar, one of the funniest men on the internet. Thank you so much for
Please check out your Kickstarter sucks.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Take it easy, man. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Appreciate it. Later, guys.
Later. Wow, moving right along. We should do another episode with him soon. He's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic guy. I don't think he's going to work out as a host. I'm sorry. He just
we have too many.
He's not that good. He's not that good at games, folks. He's not that good at playing games. I'm sorry. We need to step our game level up. We know Jack was the easy mode guy. I don't want another easy mode guy. All right, I want a hard mode guy. I want a hard guy. I want a guy as hard as he can be. to
We're
be
big
on the
fans
show
of hard
with us.
dudes.
Hey,
Uh,
hard guys
There's
on
nothing but hard dudes on Strokes Session, or hard women, So we do
Factor.
have so that was a great interview. Great to have Jesse on. If you like our banter, if you like um our comedy, our jokes, but our serious side and sensitive side too, consider subscribing at patreon.com/struggle session, or making
New
a
bonus
one-time
episode, Philip K. Dick's Electric Dreams.
it's a
We
good
went through
episode
that
of
series.
Yeah, good episode about very good show. For Philip K. Dick fans, you can make a one-time donation, PayPal.me/LLEEII, or on the Cash app, Cash.me/LLEEII.
Oh man. So you see that our in terms of like current events today, our boy Trey Gowdy's resigning. I don't know. It's another dude who's probably going to end up on a TV station in a few weeks. We can with Chris Christie's joining was it MSNBC now? It's like all these guys are just getting TV jobs. Like there's not going to be room for actors soon because everyone in Congress is going to have their own TV show on the CW or something. Like it's these guys are all there's like we're seeing like a mass cashing out from the GOP. Like all these guys are like, all right, nothing good's gonna happen that I can do, so I might as well get fucking paid. So Gowdy is now gone, and I think that's pretty good, right? I mean, it's just the only thing I can see. Like I turn on the news today, and all I see people are talking about is this stupid fucking memo. You know anything about the memo, L?
No, but I know like people think it's the biggest thing ever, and nobody knows anything about it. So, the hell.
Yeah, nobody knows what this huge memo is. It's huge and it needs to be released, but nobody fucking knows what it is. The FBI says don't release it, so part of me wants it to be released because I don't like the FBI. But then it seems to be completely full of shit because it's Devin Nunes, and he's never been honest ever because he's another one of these fucking Republicans. Yeah, Gowdy to me is sort of like he reminds me of a cousin Lurch in the Adams Family or something like that. He's just like this weird, gangly, skeletal dude with like just a very weird drawl, and it's I guess that's appealing to some people. I guess people look at that guy and go like he's exactly what we need. Lurch was the manservant. He wasn't the cousin.
So,
Fester was the uncle.
I'll go
Was it
faster.
Eddie? Eddie was on the Munsters, so I'm fucking up the Adams Family and the Munsters. But Lurch was Gomez's manservant, and yeah,
Gaudi
I
is like a sign put through a pasta roller. That's good.
yeah, I like that. That's very funny.
So does Jack get the Twitch layout since he figured out how to do the spray metal look in Photoshop? Look, folks, like we're not going to talk about who owns what IP, who got what sprayed metal. Like he talked about it a lot on the street. He was bragging, like he was constantly bragging about, like all weekend he was just like, hey guys, you know that sprayed metal I did? That was really dope, right? And like at a certain point, like you have to just get over it. Like
Did he
like
do it, or did Kate do it? Was this Kate? Kate probably did it.
Yeah,
right?
Kate probably did it anyway. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. His wife did, and they weren't married at the time, so he doesn't own it. So yeah, it's ours now. It's ours.
Oh, okay. So Lurch actually was a cousin. So I was never wrong. He was a manservant and a cousin. I stand by the fact that Trey Gowdy is Lurch.
He was a slave.
I know. I mean, that's the thing. If you're a servant who lives somewhere, gets no money, and doesn't get to choose his own destiny, his or her, yeah, that's slavery.
Yeah. Well, what did Lurch want when it's like? Did he just want to serve these rich assholes? I don't think so.
No.
Like Wednesday Adams she walks around like she's so fucking woke and shit, but she's not. She has a slave at home. So fuck Wednesday.
Oh yeah, put that up. I like that image. I like the shoe. I like shoe gifs.
Shoe dodge?
I was actually, for the first time in forever, I saw a Saturday Night Live sketch that I like did not make me want to hang myself, and it was the Will Ferrell George Bush bit. It was nice to finally remind mainstream America that George Bush is not fucking good.
Yes, I was shocked to hear that they actually went with that angle. Like I'm amazed. I'm blown away that Saturday Night Live figured it out before a lot of people in the resistance actually did.
Well, here's my theory. My take is that because I like to think that like, and that writers are smart, even though I've been proved time and time again by seeing my idols on Twitter act like fucking buffoons. But I'd like to think that there was a lot of this kind of material written that was just being held on to because they were just making too much money going Trump, 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 Trump. But this season, SNL actually had a dip in ratings. And I don't think it's a coincidence that as soon as the dip happened, they're like, oh shit, we've got to actually remind people of what people like about us, because it certainly wasn't that.
So we talked a few times about this off air, but on air, it's like, so Donald Trump is funnier than almost all the people that have been
Yes.
making fun of him for the past year. Not like he's a comedian funny, but like he's amusing. As you can see in that GIF, like Jesus Christ, that's funnier than anything I've seen
It's so
Seth Meyers do
and
ever.
then
And
that's
Seth Meyers isn't that bad, but that's fucking funny.
It's the problem is yeah, part of the reason why liberal comedy has been such a failure over the last 2 years is that they've tried to sort of do the opposite of what Trump does. And Trump is good at cringe humor and shock humor, which is like a skill, which is something I used to do. But now, like, so many comedians feel they can't do that style of humor anymore because they don't want to be even considered in the same mind frame as someone
I
like
mean, we
Trump.
can talk about Kathy Griffin, right? Like
Kathy Griffin got her her career is there's an article in her, I think, in the Hollywood Reporter, basically saying that she's like a miserable shut-in now. Her friends have abandoned her. Other
If you
comedians won't talk to her. CNN, her buddies there, like Anderson Cooper, has cut her off from his life. It's fucking pathetic. Like, I thought after comedians love to talk about free speech being the hill that they die on, but like honestly, if they actually were into that, if the comedy community was down, like fucking get 1 million people to hold that headless Trump head. Like, that is legitimately
Yeah.
funny shock humor. I laughed my ass off when I saw Kathy Griffin do that. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen her do, and they killed her for it. And to me,
Yeah,
that shows like how gutless comedy and the comedy business is right now.
it was so fucked up how they immediately turned on her, and then like 2 weeks later, it's completely forgotten about, and they're freaking out about something that actually bad Trump did. Like, it's the end of the world. Like, you have to have some perspective. You have to, and I think it really like why that happened is because this idea that, oh, we have to be better than the other guys, which is just a liberal bullshit
Right.
fantasy that, like, if you behave with a certain level of decorum, then the other people will treat you the same way, and that's not how reality works.
Well, it's not how reality works, but it's also like okay, the Democrats love saying that socialists like us live by purity tests. And it's fucking bullshit, because when we talk about purity, what we're actually talking about is policy, like having a policy that and having a vision for that policy that is pure. Like, not oh well, like maybe we'll get universal health care one day. No, we want that shit right fucking now. And that is not purity to demand it, because it's something that every modern country that
Yes.
considers itself first world has.
Boy, slow down, JB. We're getting a little bit political. I think it's
Yes.
time to bring on our next guest. I'm
We should.
send them the link, and because this is the next contestant, as we would say, for the struggle session host replacement. Someone who's I've been following on Twitter for a very long time. A wonderful tweeter. I'm just going to send her the link, so it might be a little bit of delay before she gets on. But I'm very excited to have her on. I've wanted to have her on for a while now. She's a brilliant person who's recently started her own podcast, and we want to elevate her voice legitimately. Like, I'm not joking about that, because she's great, and she has a really great project coming up. So I'm just going to send her a link, and she'll be joining us shortly while we bullshit.
Great. Yeah, so I'll hold off on my soapboxing until she gets here.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us on the Twitch stream tonight. The reason we've been going so hard is because we need to. Like,
Yeah.
it's been a difficult few months for both me and JDB,
Yeah.
personally and well, not personally, but financially. And we've been throwing ourselves into this show like it's our job, because it literally is our job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are our bosses, and and the only bosses that we've ever had that we didn't hate, because you guys are wonderful. You supported us so much. You continue to support us. You keep us entertained all day in Discord. Like we were talking about, like we don't even like JDB doesn't tweet because they can't handle him, but I've been
Yeah, I'm
tweeting less.
banned.
I've been tweeting less, Facebooking less, because the Discord is so fun, and hanging out and talking with you guys has been so fun. It's like the best social network you can make it. Like, I'm very happy to have like a really great community
Yeah,
around
I mean,
struggle
Discord really does remind me of when I was like, 13 years old and like dicking around on AIM and IRC. It reminds me of what I used to love about the internet. And the internet has changed so dramatically in the last, I mean, really 5 years, let alone 10. There is a do you feel that part of the reason? Yeah, I mean, a reality TV star is a president, and we will only have reality TV star presidents. I mean, our next president is going to be somebody from Big Brother or The Amazing Race.
Let's hope not. Let's have some hope. I think we have somebody who can give us some hope. Our guest just logged on.
Oh, welcome.
I think we're waiting for their mic to come on, but
Okay,
I'll hold
great,
off on the
beautiful.
intro until everything is good. Our tech boys, is everything okay?
How's everything going on the tech side? Do you guys see our guest on the Hangout?
Shit, yeah.
They're there.
It's a
Okay.
photo of them. So
It's a photo. Is it just audio?
We do all your or video too. We do both.
We can't
It's cool.
we can't hear her.
I think
I can talk.
Oh,
Can you hear me
hey!
now?
hey!
I was
Hold it
being
off.
polite and quiet.
No,
no,
not at all. Please,
we don't do
please.
polite on here.
I got
So everyone, this is Wendy Muse, at Muse Wendy on Twitter.
Hi,
If
Wendy.
Hi.
if you actually follow good people on Twitter, you follow her.
Thank
She's
you.
an amazing tweeter, very smart, PhD candidate, and she's working on a new project where we've talked about. I haven't talked about it too much on the show, but there's a very big problem with the history of the left and POC and how it's completely been erased.
Yes.
Like, we don't talk about this has happened on both of course the right wants to turn MLK into like a Randian conservative.
I saw that.
But-
Did you see that Turning Point USA tweet?
Yeah, but
these fucking people sleep at night.
But also, like, it benefits liberals to pretend like all MLK wanted was to talk about race and not class or economics in a very specific way. So that has been erased too. But we're getting it from both sides. And Wendy has started a podcast called the Left Pocket Project, where she talks about the history of leftist POCs, and it's so important to understand. Like, it hits me deeply personally to see people like me who believe the same things I do, because growing up you don't hear this stuff. Even as a most people don't get the opportunity to hear this stuff, and most people who aren't POC have no idea about the history of left POC. So thank you so much for coming on, Wendy.
Thanks for
Wendy.
having me. Yeah, hi. I didn't realize also that I was competing for SO. Now I'm all nervous.
Oh, you heard
Well,
that.
remember, this is America. This is
you
America.
heard
We
that
compete for everything.
Look. To be honest with you, we are ambushing you. We were going to go through the interview and then judge you after the fact without telling you. But now it's out in the open. Okay, it's fine. All right, just so you know, yes, you are in competition to replace our host, who we fired for being too problematic. Frankly, he got married, and we think that's very problematic. I want to reiterate that this is not just a joke because he's on his honeymoon for the next 2 weeks. He's really fired. We would never joke about this. He's not coming back in 2 weeks, and you have and nobody has anything to worry about. But yes, you are potentially a host, and thank you for coming on.
I feel really honored to be the one to cuckold you guys, or I guess him, now that he's out of the office. I'm taking over. Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thanks for the shout out and for, like bringing up Left POC. Two things really quickly as a correction. So first of all, the Left Pocket Project is actually much more than just a podcast. And I'm willing to go over that in a bit if you have any questions. But then the other thing, I don't even remember what the other thing was that I wanted to say now, but I think that, I feel like I started following you around the whole Bernie made me white bit, or maybe a
Yeah.
little bit before that, but I saw I saw a lot of that. And as a fellow Bernie supporter and, like pretty well established leftist at this point, I was honored to be a part of that. So I was often tweeting Bernie made me white and, for some reason or another. But I think one of the things that your hashtag did, but there's an underside of that, right? So not only does Bernie make, or support of Bernie make people of color on the left white, but it's also sort of like, if you don't support Hillary Clinton, or if you don't support centrist Democrats, or if you don't support sort of like centrist political projects, that you just don't exist at all, right?
Yeah.
So you're not only are you white, but you're like fucking invisible. Can I curse, by the way? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can curse as much
All
as you
right,
want.
just
Swear
so
all
you-
you want.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
actually want to speak on this because like this is something that really like upset me so much during the 2016 internet wars. So I would see people like you or Esha get into fights with certain liberals on not fights, but
Yeah, 'cause I'm
disagreements.
pretty nice. I'm
Yeah,
nice.
disagreement arguments, and they would just pretend like you didn't say anything to them.
Yeah.
They would mute
Just
us.
ignore you. They wouldn't say anything to you, and you would never come off like hot like I would. I wouldn't, but you were just like factually disagree with them, and they would just pretend like you weren't there. Like that upset me so much to see. It was always black and brown women. They would just ignore them. If it was a white
Because
guy,
you're
they were
inconvenient to the narrative.
yeah, if it
Right.
was a white guy, they would quote tweet him to yell at him. If every once in a while they would get mad at me, or it was really good when I changed my avatar to something that wasn't a black face. So I would get a lot of responses then. But like they would just erase you and so many other great, brilliant black and brown women, and it just upset me so much every time I saw it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But I think even beyond sort of what liberals were doing, the other frustrating part is that sometimes even left-leaning white people, or socialists, if you want to use a specific category, have a tendency to erase those figures as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think it's really important to make sure that like people understand that it's not like communism or socialism or leftism is a project that Black people or other people of color like jumped on and joined, but they were often leaders to their in their own right, and
Yes.
to be honest, like originators of a lot of communist thought and leftist thought. If you want to think about times that came well before Marx and some of the things that Marx himself was inspired by, you don't have to look too far. I mean, you can look to African indigenous societies and indigenous societies in the Americas, Australia, Asia, throughout the world. And there are millions and millions and millions, if not billions, of people who've been doing this left thing for hundreds of years. So
Well, yeah,
I'm just
absolutely. No, it's important. I mean, look, one of the the greatest pioneers of the civil rights movement, Huey Newton, was all about spreading socialism through the Black communities to white and brown communities, and that kind of coalition building is what got him killed. It's not something capitalist society wants. They don't want people from different racial groups to get their shit together, unite as workers, and take down the system. So that's why there will always be attempts to erase and to split off people in different parts of the left. I mean, look, when I was volunteering for the Bernie Sanders campaign, I got sick of the Hollywood office. So I went to the East LA office, and I mostly worked with middle-aged Latina women. And so I would then go home after volunteering for a few hours, and I'd go online and I'd see people I knew complaining about Bernie bros and Bernie bros this, Bernie bros that. And what was so shocking to me is like, okay, you can think I'm annoying and loud and obnoxious, and I am. That's fair. But to actually say to pretend that these people don't even fucking exist, that I am the only person talking about socialism, that I am the only person talking about Bernie Sanders, it's not just erasure. It is a denial of reality. It is
Right.
it is this. You are so trapped in your centrist worldview that you can't even imagine the possibility that Latinx leftists would work with Black leftists, would work with white leftists, would work with Asian leftists. It seems like a fantasy to centrists. They truly don't believe that people can come together crossing their identity lines to do something good. And it makes me very it's deeply saddening to me.
Right.
Yeah,
Not
so-
only is sorry, Leslie, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, and I think beyond sad too, there's this aspect of it being entirely ahistorical. Because, like, for example, my research has to do with leftists from Brazil who are all sorts of colors working with pretty hardcore Marxists from Africa. So it's pretty frustrating to kind of have these people erase not only the present, but the history. But it's a very US centric project too, because in a lot of ways, like if you ignore leftists of color, then that also means that you don't have to address, for example, US imperialism,
Right.
the military industrial complex, and all these other things that have happened over time that leftists of color have been rebelling against.
So tell us about your project.
Oh, sure. So the Left Pocket Project actually started, it had its early stages in 2016 during the election, actually, because I kept seeing article after article and tweet after tweet by pundits who were saying that, oh, Black people are all centrists. And like, you know, like Latin Americans are just kind of like in the middle somewhere and they're going to vote for Hillary Clinton and everything's fine. And I said, oh my God, this is making me nuts. Like there's a really deep history of people of color who are radical, left-leaning, or just hardcore leftists and activists, leaders, etc. So I said, let me start tweeting books to just kind of prove that there is actually a history of this and people have written hundreds and hundreds of pages, not only the activists themselves who are talking about Marxist theory, communist theory, et cetera, but like historians and sociologists, et cetera, who have written about it. So I started tweeting books under the hashtag LeftPOC. And then after a while, some other comrades, if you want to call them that, on Twitter, who are also of color, started using the handle or the hashtag to refer to themselves. So like Kieran Opal, I'm not sure if you follow her, but for people who don't, you should. Kieran Opal is great. Yeah, but she is a Pakistani Canadian leftist, and she tweets all the time about leftist movements and history and the like. And she's one of the first people who really started saying, I'm a left POC, and she was using that hashtag to refer to herself. And so I said, you know what, I should go beyond just like making this a syllabus and really make it sort of a digital educational project and an interactive digital educational project. So at the end of 2016, after the end of the election, I actually, you know, started turning it into a project. So by May of 2017, I had established the Twitter page. I'm working on a website right now, but I had a Facebook page as well. And then now I have a podcast. For the podcast, what I do is I interview other people who are historians, writers, activists, et cetera, to talk about the histories of leftist of color. And the point of the project is to make, as I say, it's sort of cheesy, but it works. So to make the history of, or bringing the histories of leftists of color to you one swipe at a time. So the point is that all you have to do is like reach into your pocket, hence the left pocket. Reach into your pocket, pull out your smartphone, and you can literally learn these histories with just a couple of swipes. And it doesn't require getting a PhD or an MA or whatever. Like, I don't think that education has to be locked up in some ivory tower. So that's what the project is about.
Like, it's really awesome because I feel like in leftists in general, there's a lot of ivory towers where the information is not readily available to people, and you can be put down for not doing this or that reading, usually of a white person that you haven't read. But what you're doing is making it accessible, making it real, that like left POC exists. It's a thing, like it's an important thing. And like I think
you're not going away. You're not going anywhere.
No.
So no matter how hard they can pretend that you guys don't exist, there's only going to be more and more and more and more people coming together say enough is enough of this shit. Stop erasing us.
So I want to ask you for our listeners, because we talk about politics on the show, but we don't get too down in the weeds usually. There's other podcasts that do that. But since we have you on and you're such an intelligent special guest, tell us about a couple of left POCs that maybe people should look up, because our listeners do dig that shit.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that I do on the page, actually on the Twitter page and on anytime you find me on social media, I have this project, or part of the project, where I talk about a different left POC of the week. And I laugh just because, again, it's sort of like, it feels like a game show or something. But what I end up doing is I tweet these threads about leftists of color that have been really pivotal in a lot of left-leaning movements. And so, like, for example, last week, I had a man by the name of Abdel Khalik Majoub, who was a Sudanese communist. And he actually was educated in Egypt and went back to Sudan. And then at the time, it was run by a military dictator, of course, who was backed by the United States. Like, what's new, right?
Yeah.
And during that process, he's writing about communism and really proliferating a lot of left-leaning thought. He gets in trouble. He gets arrested. He supports the overthrow of the guy who arrests him and ends up winning in the long run. And he becomes a leader a big leader of the Communist Party in Sudan, which actually ends up being the biggest communist party in Africa, which is like fucking amazing. I mean, these are things that you don't hear about, right? So at least I find it exciting because I'm kind of a nerd. But he becomes the leader of the biggest communist party in Africa. This like random guy, right? He actually got kicked out of college too. I should mention that because he was a communist. And so anyway, long story short, after a lot of government overthrows and after a lot of continuous writing on his part, he actually ends up getting executed by a guy who takes over the country, which is unfortunate. But and then with him, the Communist Party of Sudan sort of dies. It still exists, but it's not in any way close to as powerful as it was. But it's great to look at his writings because he talks about how, like there are lots of different religions in Sudan and ethnic groups and all of that. But he says at the end of the day, one of the things that should and could unite us is Marxism because it allows for us to really challenge the systems that put us in colonialism and the systems that post-colonial leaders continued to fall prey to because they didn't want to overthrow them. So this is just one person of many. But right now, for example, for next week, I have a woman by the name of Saladia Kea. I think her last name is Kea or Key. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. But she's a Black woman from Georgia who went on to become an anti-fascist fighter in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. Yeah, so there's like all this crazy stuff going on that we just never learn about in school and that I didn't even learn about, like even though I'm like I said, I'm doing a PhD, but you have to do a PhD on like a specific topic to get into the weeds, as you said, about these figures. And so it's really important to kind of understand that there's a lot out there that we'll never see, and why not like continue to learn more about them and be inspired by them, especially as we're going forward and challenging things that, if you think about it in retrospect, like what they were fighting against was a lot scarier and a lot deeper and trying than what we have as a challenge. And so it's like, if they could overthrow full governments, then I think we still stand a chance, against neoliberalism. And against some of those other ills of politics.
And the truth is that there is so much overlap and so many causes that people that don't traditionally well, white people don't see as their cause that actually is. Great example is, if few years ago when Black Lives Matter kicked off, the only thing I knew about it was from like people like DeRay hawking Doritos. I was not somebody who was aware of the actual broad movement and the people truly behind it. I was just like, why are these people teaming up with businesses to say stuff when I had always thought of police shooting as a problem because I had read a book years ago by a libertarian dude named Radley Balco called Rise of the Warrior Cop, and it was warning people that police militarization was out of control. And I would read about Kelly Thomas, the man in Orange County who was beaten to death by the cops for no reason other than that he was homeless. These are issues that, when we talk about Black Lives Matter, white people go, a lot of white people, not all white people, but a lot of white people go, well, should you say all lives matter? And that's become like this back and forth meme of idiocy. But the whole point of Black Lives Matter is, one, to remind the public that the police are killing Black people more than they are other people, and two, to remind people that the police are killing too many people in general. So it doesn't even fucking matter because these are your allies in the fight against police militarization. It doesn't. People get so wrapped up in the rhetoric, they don't even see that these people are on the same exact side as the the homeless family in Orange County.
And that's why left POCs are so important, because we can talk about all this stuff in a coherent way without also, advertising for Wells Fargo, right? Like,
Yeah.
like we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Right, and it's remarkable to me too that people, and I wish I that it's almost like that's the point, right? A corporation goes in, elevates a social movement, and then brings it into the fold. Whether it's someone like DeRay McKesson, using Black Lives Matter to hawk stuff, or whether it was a Fearless Girl, the Wall Street investment hedge fund that's responsible for firing pregnant women, is now putting up Wonder Woman statues next to the bull. Like, the entire goal is for business to co-opt these movements and then to make them their own at a profit. It's never been about actually teaming up with social activists for a cause. And it's unfortunate that I don't know. It's like, it's very easy to buy into it. It's very easy to think, well, like CNN cares, I guess. Like, if you're not thinking about it too much, like, oh, this. But the truth is that activism and change never comes from these businesses, no matter how hard they try to co-opt messages. It comes from grassroots. It comes from people. It comes from human beings working together.
Yeah, people like Wendy,
People like Wendy.
who is doing this very important project. And it's just unfortunate that if you become, the next struggle session host, you'll have to, stop the project.
Right. And start playing video games all the time.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I forgot. Yeah, we do have to ask you. So, Wendy, there are some requirements to being a struggle session host.
Okay.
Let's say so how many Dark Souls games have you beaten?
That would be a 0. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, but what about Bloodborne or
What
Demon
about
Souls?
Bloodborne?
None. I was about to speak Portuguese. None of those either. No.
Have you watched Berserk?
No.
Oof.
I know it's bad. I don't have any. Like, I think the last video game I played was like Street Fighter 2.
Okay,
when I
well,
was
it's
about
been really
10.
nice having you on.
Yeah.
It's been really nice having you on. So, where can people find you?
So people can
Oof,
find me
oof.
pretty much everywhere by literally just typing in left POC, which is the beautiful convenience of this hashtag. So if you go on Twitter, it's obviously at left POC. You can go on Facebook, and that's facebook.com/leftpoc. I'm also on Reddit, although my site is really sad. I haven't done anything yet on Reddit, but I am on Reddit.
Don't worry about it.
I know, but it's been bought by corporations, right? So it's okay. Like, they're all
Yeah.
corporate. So
Well, that's Reddit. Reddit is its own really interesting thing, because so much of Reddit's foundations were set in the ideology of the internet freedom movement, and like tech socialists like Aaron Schwartz, and like it's just a marketing tool now. And if you want to pay some guy a few $100, you can probably get on the front page, but otherwise I don't know. It's kind of a shithole.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But thank you so much, Wendy, for coming on, and we're definitely
we're gonna have you on again.
Yeah, we'll have you on again for a full episode. Don't know
Thanks.
if
Hey, also, don't forget, go on SoundCloud and Spreaker and iTunes, and you can subscribe to the podcast too. I'm really bad at plugging, but yeah, do that too.
And patreon.com/leftpoc. Please
Correct.
subscribe to
we subscribe to Left POC. Struggle Session subscribes.
Yeah,
awesome.
we do
well,
now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, Wendy.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. How are we doing in terms of the buffering? Are we still having some slowdowns, or are we making okay strides here? What's going on?
Hope it's still weirdly buffering. That's weird. Or is somebody watching a movie? Is Zach watching The Intern?
No, Zach and Joshua went to grab a bite, so it's just me here now. So I'm
the
trying
tech
to
boys
figure out.
left. The tech boys left.
Well, they'll be back. But yeah, they're gone for a minute. It also, like, I noticed, like, when I load up Twitch on my phone, the chat room is having trouble loading. It might be like a Twitch wide problem.
No, because it could. No, it's not. It's not Twitch. It's specifically the YouTube that you're watching. So maybe you watching Twitch on your phone is slowing down the Wi-Fi at the
Oh,
building.
interesting. All right, let me close it out and we'll see if it does it.
Yeah, maybe if you can turn off the PlayStation 2, because yeah, it's just a weird thing. But yeah, Wendy Moose, wasn't that great? Wasn't that great,
She's
guys?
brilliant. I mean,
Brilliant writer, brilliant person. And those are the type of people we bring to you. Bring to you someone like Jesse Ferraro and Wendy Muse and other cool guests. The only place you'll find that
that
wide
intersection.
that intersection of Jesse Ferraro and Wendy Muse is Struggle Session, folks.
Right.
Nowhere else. Nowhere else
The
you're
only
gonna get this
place
kind
you
of
can
thing.
have a couple of weird Jewish actors, a black intellectual from Virginia, and and comedians from where is Jesse Ferraro? In Tennessee, so it's Los Angeles, Virginia, Tennessee, and then where's Wendy?
Wendy, I think she's in New York.
Oh well, no shit. So like we got the whole country covered here.
Yeah,
Socialism is America.
Yeah, and you're hearing about it only on Struggle Session. Patreon.com/Struggle Session. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can do so at paypal.me/LLEEIII or with the Cash App, cash.me/$LLEEIII. Those donations help so much. All your support helps so much.
And of course, when you join Struggle Session, not only do you get bonus episodes, but you also get access to our Discord community, which for some people is the best part of the show. You get to hang out with a group of young, fun leftists who like to talk about movies and video games. It's not, a lot of people are scared of leftist spaces online because they can be pretty rough, but we are proud of having no mods, no cops, and a group of people who are in general very nice to each other, despite the wide spectrum of leftist thought that exists out there. I mean, we've got people who have just discovered the left through Bernie Sanders, and we have people who are the farthest left that you can possibly comprehend, like galaxy left, and they are all welcome here. Because the only way to actually create a movement is to get people from all spectrums of the left together to hang out and like each other. It's all we can do.
I kind of want to rant about this a little bit because Unfold Johnson got mad at me. He's one of the super weird, allegedly tanky people, but they never actually talk about politics. They just complain about people who have podcasts. And so he suggested that, we're vaguely left because we're running some kind of scam on people. No, it's not that we're vaguely left. We never identify as ML or Maoist or DemSoc or whatever.
It doesn't,
because
doesn't matter to us.
Because first of all, none of y'all motherfuckers got any power. I will join a faction that has power. Soon as one of you actually exhibit some power to free black people, then I will join whatever bent of leftists you have. But until then, y'all are just cosplaying online, unfortunately.
I mean, to be fair,
as Marx called out in the 18th Brumaire, he talked about this shit very specifically. So y'all should know. Y'all know what's up. So we don't identify as this or that type of leftist because there's no power in it. There's no power. If the left is unfortunately completely out of power right now, and we all need to work together. I believe in solidarity. Solidarity. That That's what I believe in.
Is Wendy still in the hangout? She keeps popping in and out. I'm not sure
Oh,
what's
that's
going on there.
weird. That's
Yeah.
weird. Or maybe the stream's just. Oh, the stream might just be behind.
Okay. That's possible too. We got good people coming in. What's up, John Dorian? What's up, Fluoride Jones? New folks coming in. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you so much for all the new people coming in. Thank you so much for all the people who brought these new people in. Oh, Mr. OK Fox, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening and subscribing.
Yeah.
Awesome. You'll enjoy those old bonus episodes. And I do want to say, even though we are, this is a telethon, we are asking for subscriptions, we're asking for money. You don't have to pay any money to get the bonus episodes.
Right.
Just shoot us a DM, shoot us an email, and if you can't afford to subscribe to the podcast, we'll give them to you. There's nothing embarrassed about it. Just ask us.
Look, I've been there. I've been there.
We've been there.
You don't need to subscribe then unsubscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, just shoot us an email, and we'll happily give you the stuff. Because look, I'm the brokest I've ever been. I have, for the first time in my adult life, had to, get some help from my parents for rent, and it feels fucking weird because I'm 28 years old. But it is so nice to know. It is so nice to know that most of us are in that boat. There is the majority of working Americans and the majority of unemployed Americans are getting help from somebody, and that's just how it is. Because unfortunately, the majority of America's wealth is concentrated into the hands of a very tiny number of people. And until that fucking changes, we're gonna do our best. But as always, we're all in this together. We've all got to survive this shit. We're all gonna be okay. And you're right. It is about to breaking the stigma and breaking the shame. There is no shame in not having money. There is no shame in struggling to get work. Because truthfully, do you see who's successful right now? You see the people who are the
should be a
quote
fucking
unquote
shame.
the winners. You want to be like them? I fucking don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I
So
think-
I do want to shout out the people who subscribed today. We actually got a lot of new subscribers
Oh,
today.
wonderful, beautiful.
I think this is the most new subscribers we gotten in one day. Actually, it's amazing. So Andy H, Jordan B, Bob C, Anna S. Actually, Anna S has a dropper pledge. Anna, if you still want the bonus episodes, just shoot us a DM. I know how it's hard out there sometimes, so you have to drop down to $1. Thank you for still giving us that $1. If you still want to get the bonus episodes, just shoot us a message. Brian P, the Ammonite, Tyler K, definitely wrong. Pledge $5. No, you're definitely right for pledging $5.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Tyler.
Cassim, Ryan M. Oh, Ryan M has a Louisiana name. Wonder if he's from Louisiana. Olivia F. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thank
Thanks,
you so much
Brian.
for. We've gotten so many. That's a lot of subscriptions in one day, and we just got our first one-time donation. Let's see, who is this from? I'm using the Steam controller to as a mouse. It works pretty well. I actually have carpal tunnel, so that's why I don't game with a mouse and keyboard.
That sucks. Can you get like any kind of like insurance from it from your work or anything
I don't
like
think
that?
so. I don't think so. So Christopher W donated us $10. Thank you so much, Christopher. We really appreciate it. That $10 is going to
Thank
go
you.
straight
Makes it-
to the fees for of hosting
Keeping
and
the show going.
recording,
Yeah.
keeping the show going. Thank you so
It's
much.
as the show grows, there are a few like SoundCloud gets a little more expensive and web hosting and all of that. But the truth is that the nice thing about Patreon is it doesn't take that much, and thankfully we repelled them when they tried to pull a fast one on us a few months ago, and we said, no, Patreon, you're not pulling that shit or everyone's gonna leave, and it worked. That was a scare, but we did
Yeah.
actually lose quite a bunch of people that week, because, and so did everyone on Patreon, because it was just like
All
too
right, so
much.
it says that our stream is actually about 3 to 5 minutes behind. That's fine
Oh
as
yeah,
long as
my
it's
joke
still
about
going.
Tennessee is what there was where they're going at. That was
Oh
3 minutes
wow,
ago.
that was like 5 minutes ago. As long as it's still going, okay, yeah, yeah. As long as
Yeah,
it's still going.
we are way ahead. So that explains a lot. I mean, maybe we're gonna have to figure out a way. Is that normal though for it to be such a long delay? I mean, it feels longer than normal.
Yeah, it's whatever. As long as it's like not stopping, that's cool. Like yeah. As long as it's not stopping, we're good. We're good. But because I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not like we're not playing a game, thankfully. So
Right.
if we were
No,
playing
well,
a
yeah,
game,
there's no way, but
it'd be
it's
really
funny.
annoying. We're just running our fucking mouths, so that's why it's good.
But that's kind of fine. Maybe like we should maybe like play less games on this thing and just like put like videos in the back, and like maybe Twitch doesn't actually need to be. I mean, we are gamers though. So here's the thing I was thinking.
So yeah, go ahead.
I just think down the line when we get to like, I don't know, say $3,000 or something, and we all get our gaming PCs, we start some kind of league. We start some kind of I don't want to say clan, that has bad connotations, but some kind of group where a bunch of us can get together and actually win some shit together. We kick some asses, and then when people go, who are you that just murdered us? We'll say, oh, we're socialists.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Come join us,
That sounds
and we will
bad.
game across the stars. We will
That's
conquer.
badass.
Shane from Beast Coast is in the Navy, but he gets a pass. I don't hate people I mean, we don't hate people in the military. It's the military is the problem, but like, it's again, like shitting on, well, this is just my take. It's like this, it didn't work out during Vietnam to shit on the individual
Yeah,
soldiers, though.
no, well, they didn't. It was just used against them. Like there wasn't like a lot of like that the animosity that's allegedly happened towards the soldiers who returned from Vietnam. Like a lot, it mostly came from the government when they tried to get their health benefits.
Right. I mean,
But
yeah,
to,
try.
it was used. It like all of those any incidents of like calling somebody a baby killer. Those were always exaggerated and magnified and repeated in order to gin up support for the war, as
As
will
a,
always happen,
yeah.
and it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. People will still go back and reference, Vietnam. The hippies treated the heroes coming home back that way. Like motherfucker, like my father was in Vietnam. There was nothing heroic about it. He talked about, yeah, we fucking burn a village down in the morning and go to bed at night, and that was what they did. They went there and murdered poor people, and they were poor themselves. This was going. There was still, like segregation and shit going on, and you have black people going over to fight for this country that doesn't treat them as equals as human beings, and so many of them come back with PTSD. My father
Oh,
suffered
yeah.
from PTSD until he died. Drug addiction. My father dealt with drug,
Mhm.
came back, addicted to heroin, as many did, and had to suffer and dealt with that for the majority of the rest of his life, and really didn't get a lot of help. It's just Vietnam is just such a fucked up thing, and we've kind of erased it from my history, and in part because there's not nearly as many Vietnam movies as there are World War II movies, right? Like that
Yeah,
is the thing. Like
because World War
Hollywood
II
is
was a
like,
good war. It was
yeah, World War II is a good war. That's why we're still making so many fucking World War II movies. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. Like,
it
um,
keeps the boomers in their sort of their America is good fantasy, right? Well, we stopped the Nazis, we stopped Hirohito, we stopped Italy, so we're good. good, and that's why we deserve to live the lives we do, and that's why we shouldn't think about Vietnam. We shouldn't think about Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen. We definitely shouldn't think about Middle America or the South. It's what
Yeah.
worries me about the fetishization of World War II is that, I mean, honestly, you know, if you want to talk about the one video game I've ever played that was sort of the antidote to that, it was LA Noire. LA Noire made the case that the men that came back from World War II were completely broken, and it was
And they
great.
were.
And they were, you know, I mean,
But
there
you
was no
can't.
PTSD at the time. There was shell shock.
Yeah, and people thought it was like cowardice. Like no, the human mind is not meant to deal with something as horrific as that. Thankfully, of course, with drone war, now we've just have people playing war like it's a video game, so they're in no danger, and they don't have to worry about shell shock, I guess. And they don't have to worry about the human element of having to deal with the mess of these broken young men and women who are sent across the world to just murder people, other young men and women that they don't know for reasons they don't understand.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it can't be good for their psyches, these drone
Oh
pilots.
no,
Like,
I'm
you're in
sure.
Las Vegas, you kill a bunch of people with an Xbox controller, and then like there's nothing but casinos nearby. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it
Like,
really is fucked up. But yeah, so don't we don't necessarily there's a lot of people leftists who criticize individual soldiers, and I'm never going to tell them not to do it. It's not something I will put my energy for, but of course I'm never going to tell anybody to the left of me or who has a strong opinion on this issue, or people in the global south, that how to talk about the US military. But it's not but I still want a place for personally. I want to play. I don't. I want to have Army Strang on the podcast. Let's just put it that way. At some point, like I want some. I want to have those perspectives.
Peace from Hell of a Way to Die, right? I like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I want these perspectives on of soldiers, of leftist soldiers, of people who are still part of these imperialist horrible machines. Because the fact is, most of us are still part of a capitalistic machine that is as deadly as what you can't even really separate from the imperialist death machine. Like
Mhm.
all of us are working for people, or for capitalists. All of us are part of the system. So I don't want to ostracize every young person.
It's
But I
the
mean,
problem with. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the problem with capitalism is it is not an opt-out system.
yes,
No one has the choice. Like, even even like when people they go, hey, well, why are you trying to make money doing this? And it's like, well, I mean, what else am I gonna fucking do, right? Like, this is a job, and unfortunately, uh, work. I mean, it's not even unfortunate. Workers should be paid for the work they do. It's just that the capitalist society will automatically make it so that there is always this push pull from people selling stuff and people buying stuff, and it's never pretty, and it always involves some form of exploitation. And like, we do our best to minimize it, but as you know, there is no such thing as ethical capitalism. So we don't want to be the lifestylists who say, like, don't watch movies, don't play video games, don't watch TV, don't listen to music, because I think that's not a great way to build solidarity. That's a great way to go fucking insane.
yes,
Because if you're cut off from all culture, if you're cut off from art and joy because of all of the problematic stuff that's in there, and don't get me wrong, there is a whole lot of problematic stuff in there, then you're just going to be alienated. You need to have, I mean, there is no easier way to talk to a stranger than to find a video game, TV show, or movie or song they like. It's that simple. Like, in terms of establishing opening dialogues, there's no better way.
I do need to push back on this a little bit just
Okay.
because of what's happening with Black fucking Panther. That is driving me
Well,
insane.
that's
I am going
classic
to
Disney, though. You
I'm
know.
going to cut myself on off from whatever joy I could get from that movie just because the people who are trying to push it are so fucking insufferable. This woman who writes for uh Deaf what's it called? Birth Movies, Devin Faraci's old
Oh
site
God,
where they
boy,
pretend like
I told you he
every
moved, right? I don't have to
yeah,
see him
yeah.
anymore. It's great.
Yeah, where so Birth Movies Deaf, where they pretend like every single fucking Marvel Disney movie is a cultural revelation and milestone that has never been seen before and possibly will never be seen until the next month or months and a half when the next one comes out.
Yeah, it's called a
They're
bribe,
going
Leslie.
they're going so fucking hard. She's going so fucking hard for Black Panther. She actually just said to me, I literally just I asked her to stop. I just asked her to stop. Really, like just this is too much. You're going too far. I didn't even point out that she's white. I didn't want. I just asked her to stop, please. Like it's not cool to talk about to use blackness and black culture and kind of reduce it all to elevate this one fucking Marvel movie. And her response eventually was, I'm not trying to guilt trip anyone. And yeah, there are excellent black movies that have been made before, for sure. But I don't believe any of them have had the scale and scope and global cultural impact of a Marvel movie. And I was so like depressed and disgusted by that. I was wondering if I could come on the stream. Like
No, no. I
I
mean,
was sick. I
so
was
the
sick. I was like, should I just fucking log off? Stop this whole thing because there is no hope. That's just a black pit right there. That's just like this is there's nothing. There's no soul there. This is just like taking everything, every experience I've ever had, every experience my ancestors have had, and just using it to push like corporate junk. And I don't
right.
even
What?
and I'm not even saying the movie is bad, but it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. If it was terrible, she'd be saying the exact same thing.
Well, and here's my question though. Well, first of all, Birth Movies Death is just a rag. They just get paid by Disney. I have no doubts that they just take payola at this point. Like they are just either that or they are just the dumbest fucking people alive and are just so easy to no, because they only treat Disney movies that way because they know that if they don't get invited to more premieres and they don't get more swag and free first class flights. It's bullshit. Second of all, the marketing for Black Panther is kind of unlike anything I've ever seen because what they've done is they've taken so much energy that is very, racially conscious. They have taken real issues involving Black America and they have spun it in a way that is it's just pablum, like it's just like
It's apolitical. It's just like blackness as product.
as
But
coolness,
yeah,
as a
coolness.
thing to buy, but like in its purest form. Like it is like frankly, like the way that they're almost using like this weird fake hip hop punk aesthetic, it disturbs me because it seems like, well, this is like the final stage in the consumer is the turning identity into a product to buy and sell. Like now, like, oh, this black thing's cool, so I'm gonna buy it because black is cool. That doesn't mean anything. And it doesn't come from a place of humanity. It just comes from what? I'm not sure. It comes from Marvel, I guess. It's just classic fucking Marvel, classic Disney. But it's worrisome. I that's funny. Fluoride Jones, sorry, caught my eye with now that Jack is no longer Volcel, he's banned. I'm not I'm not sure. I'm not sure Jack was always Volcel, but he
We're
might
not
have
gonna
been.
put
He might have had some incel days, but I know I've had my incel days. That's for fucking sure. Uh, you know, it's let's see. Jacob's Ladder really is probably one of my favorite Vietnam movies. Another good one is Born on the 4th of July with it's an Oliver Stone movie with Tom Cruise, and it is very clear that like Vietnam was fucking evil. It makes no attempt to try to make it seem like it was any. There's no glory. There's no Clearwater Revival. It's just fucking ugly. Same with Hamburger Hill. These are like dark, fucking twisted Nam films. Actually, I'm surprised why Vietnam movies. You'd think that with the Iraq and Afghanistan war happening since I
Yeah,
don't know, I was 12 years old. I'm more than
yeah,
half my life now. You'd think that maybe Hollywood would dip into that well, but I
yeah.
think
Because
that
that would be the easy cowardly Hollywood way to comment on the current wars, talk about the other
right.
bad war.
But the truth
Um,
is that Hollywood is too deep in bed with, first of all, right wing capital, and also, like, frankly, the Pentagon. The Pentagon gets
literally the Pentagon. Yeah. So it drives me like I know like pretty good, cool, woke movie fans who will still defend Katherine Heigl and Zero Dark 30, and
oh, you
it's
mean
so disgusting.
Chastain? Yeah.
N- Zero Dark 30, Chastain and Heigl. Well, Heigl, you see, is like who is worse in this scenario because Heigl actually, worked directly with the Pentagon, and they made up
Wait, wait,
a
who did she?
award to give to her.
What?
Not the what's the director's name? I'm
Oh,
at,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Katherine Heigl's the actress from
Oh
from
yeah,
27 Dresses. So I was very confused.
yeah, not Katherine Heigl. What's her name? It's
Oh no,
Catherine.
no, Catherine Bigelow, the director. Yeah, yeah,
Catherine
yeah. Sorry.
Bigelow. Bigelow. Yeah, yeah. So she worked directly with the Pentagon on
Yeah, yeah.
this.
Her and Mark Bull took the narrative directly from the CIA, which said that torture was instrumental in catching Osama bin Laden, and they took that hook, line, and sinker, and they didn't question it. I actually think that's probably why Mark Bull was involved with the second season of Serial, which was like nobody liked it because it was about how the Afghanistan war was pointless, and people were like, "I don't get it. It's just dragging on and on for no reason."
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and they made an award to give to Catherine Bigelow, like all these retired like Pentagon deep state guys. They created like a fake award to give to her, and she actually went and took it. I'm like, how can you be an artist and actually think that's okay? So that's why she's kind of terrible. But then Chastain is like doing this woke CIA lover bit on Twitter, and it also drives me fucking
And
insane.
it's unfortunately not new. I mean, this has been going on since the 60s when Gloria, I mean, feminism has been co-opted by the Pentagon and the CIA before. It was happened in the 60s. There were like a big thing that was being used as propaganda against the East was, well, look how much better we are to women. And like, that hasn't really changed much we have this attitude that we do uh, that we don't subjugate women, and we do. It's very bizarre. Um, let's see. Let's see. I'm kind of I got a jet in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. All
I got
right.
10 minutes. So how are we gonna spend these last 10 minutes?
How are we gonna spend these last 10 minutes talking to the people who will hear us in about 5 minutes?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. Oh, so
So
that means like I can't like kill the broadcast, right? Or I have to wait 5 minutes till after we end to kill it, or how does that work?
yes, yeah, you
Okay.
have to wait 5 minutes. So let's do 5 more minutes, and
Okay,
then
we'll do 5 more
you
minutes.
and then kill it. Kill it when you get a chance. So just want to say, maybe we should give a state of the podcast
Yes.
talk.
So
So, oh, go
after
ahead,
you.
start. All
Well,
right.
I'm
So
very
the state of the podcast is strong, folks. We've never been stronger. Yes, Jack is no longer a part of the podcast.
No, yes, forever gone.
He's forever gone on his vacation to Thailand. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, he's not like he'll be back on the show in 2 weeks. But we got a lot of great episodes coming up. We're doing a Hannibal episode with Brandy L. Jensen. We're
Mhm.
doing an episode about mutual aid with JDB's friend who has a berserk tattoo, a rabid socialist with a berserk tattoo. You can't get better than that.
Yeah,
Got a
and he's
lot.
Chilean too, so he knows a lot about the history of socialism in Latin America as well.
I'm surprising JDB with this, but I talked to Kath Bar Barbadoro. You know
Yeah,
Kath
sure.
Barbadoro, and she wants to come on the show.
Fuck yeah.
I invited her on. She has a new podcast called Wrestle Splaining It. She has 3 podcasts actually. Is pretty. Maybe we should ask her to host our show. No, she has 4 podcasts. Why don't we have the 5th one today? Why don't we ask her to be the new host?
I mean,
would
not.
be
I mean,
cool.
it's like her and Aubrey Citizen are both do. Citizen. I said Aubrey Citizen. Her and Aubrey Citizen both do like the multiple podcast thing. My new thing, just because like Struggle Session is taking off, is I produced a podcast for somebody else for hire, because and that's kind of fun. That's called Indoctrination. It's all about cults and stuff like that. It's this
So yeah, and you'll get to hear that soon. And I listened to it, and it's really good. I think it's very different. It's more of those
much different, not
no,
political.
not and this format too is a little bit more, one of those like real official podcasts, not the dirt bag aesthetic when it's just three people talking a bunch of shit. It's like actual, like journalism and stuff, and it's really
Ah.
good. Really,
Yeah,
really good.
it's but so that's cool. And by the way, if any of you are in Los Angeles and you've got an idea for a dirtbag left podcast or really anything on the left side of the spectrum, hit us up. We'll hook you up. Like we know how to put these things together, and we like doing them. And we're always looking. We also are starting something that I don't really have a title for it yet, but I'm just calling it LeftNet right now. So we started it with Beast Coast, where we put a little 30-second ad for our show on the end of a Beast Coast episode. And if you haven't listened to Beast Coast, you really should. It's awesome. It's leftist talk based out of Washington D.C. 3 really amazing hosts, and best of all, they've got jobs. They don't even need your support.
Patreon. They don't need your support. They
just want you to listen.
But they do so much to like help us and help other podcasts. We really appreciate it. Like every time we tweet out, they tweet our episodes more than we do. Like frankly, they're more on top of it than we
really
are.
remarkable.
Just because they're great guys, great folks.
Big shout out to them.
Big shout out to them. Other things coming up on the show. We got Kath coming up. We got Brandy L. Jensen. I just talked to Kumar's, and we squashed our beef with Kumar's from Delete Your Account. We were also actually trying to get him on the show tonight, but
it was just a Star Wars beef, though, right? It wasn't anything actually ideological. Although,
JDB, you might want to rethink that. You want to think out how you phrase that. But yeah, we squashed the beef with Kumar's. We're gonna get him on the show. Maybe we can get him the host. But anyway, so we haven't set a date yet, but Kumar's coming on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you got a new episode coming out with Katie Halper. I forgot we haven't put that out yet. That's how much stuff we got in the tank, yo.
We're making stuff, and best of all, like, look, we'll just keep making stuff. We keep growing. We'll be online more and more. It's that simple. Like
Rob Rousseau had a great episode before. Yeah, he's coming back. You didn't even know that, right? He messaged me and said, "Yo, I gotta get back on that struggle session. I got a hot article coming out."
Oh, don't forget. Oh, yeah, we got a Happy Hunting episode. So there's a new movie you can check out on Netflix right now called Happy Hunting, and it's really good. And I happen to have an access line to the directors. So this is a movie that actually is fairly class conscious in its themes. It's about how the rich prey on the poor for sport and fun and profit. And so as far as that goes, I figure this is a pretty good show for them to pimp that movie out. So we'll have them on for sure.
Yeah, and Luscious Lefties, brand new podcast, fantastic show with 3, leftist fighters out there, who are always online fighting the liberals. It's Tina Desiree Berg, Mary Angela Perna, and Judy Jones, and they're all cool people, very very cool women, very smart, very fun. I may be going on their show this weekend. We're definitely gonna be bringing them on our show, so look forward for that too.
All right, great. So we're
gonna shout out to David Slavic, the producer of the show, always supporting us, always giving us love.
He's part of Michael Brooks too, right?
Yeah, Michael Brooks also always supporting us, always giving us love.
Thank you
so much, everyone.
And anyway, so if you want to check us out, we're about to sign off, but if you want to check us out, it's patreon.com/struggle session. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Stitcher. We're on iTunes. Are we on Google? Are we on Google Music?
Yes, we're on Google. We're on Google. We're on everything but Stitcher. Stitcher, like, I mean, not Stitcher. We're on Stitcher. We were on Stitcher day one.
Yeah.
It was Spotify.
Spotify we're not on.
Spotify hasn't hooked up. It's not okay. Like, they put other people on. They should put us on. We're good. All right. So I think you have to go in 5 minutes. So we'll go ahead and wrap
this up.
But thank you so much. JDB, where are you going?
So I'm just going to dinner with my girlfriend.
You're going to dinner with your
I'm
JV.
going Margarita
Why
told me
we
she.
like margarita is great, but this is why we fired Jack.
I
Like
know, I know.
it's messed up. Like for you as a straight white man to take this, wonderful, beautiful soul and just sell yourself to her. Like it's
Unbelievable.
terrible. Like
Well,
it's
yeah,
unbelievable.
well, I'm never getting married.
You say so now, but
Bertz, did you see the Chinese Black Panther poster? Covered the main actor, covered his face.
of
That
course.
doesn't surprise me. That's what Disney does. They did it with Finn in The Force Awakens too. Look at the Chinese poster there. It's super fucked up. And the Chinese people, by the way, love the Fast and Furious series, so it's not even an excuse.
Yeah, it's just
It's just
Marvel.
Disney and Marvel.
Disney Marvel, yeah. All right, well, everyone, thank you so much.
Thanks so much,
for
guys.
listening. If you see 5 minutes of nothingness, that's because of the lag. We didn't want to cut the show off without and leave you cut off from the rest of the content. So we're just gonna stop right now and leave the Twitch stream running for a little bit.
Great.
All right, thanks so
All right,
much.
have an
a good
awesome
night.
day, Leslie.
Yeah, you too. Peace.
Whatever. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Take it easy.
All right. So we can actually stop the hangout.
All right. So let's